I'm a 17-year-old girl, and so much like every other 17-year-old girl, I envy the gorgeous girls on Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter that get hundreds and hundreds of likes and comments on their photos. I wanted to be just like them. I bought extensions, fake eyelashes, made my account private so people would have to follow me to see my pictures. I even started losing weight to be just as thin and pretty as all those other girls, and it worked. Hashtag after hashtag and post after post of me smiling with thick winged eyeliner and push-up bras made my follower count skyrocket. I loved the attention. I loved having random boys comment on my picture things about my looks and womanly assets. That is, until I got one strange follow request. I clicked on the username. His name was John001. And it took me to an account page which displayed no profile photo, no posts, no followers, and no one they followed. But as I said prior, I wanted followers, so who was I to give a shit about the freaky page? I accepted the request and went on as normal. A week later, I received my first comment from this strange account. He commented on one of my pictures with just one word: hot. I didn't think much of it, being as more than half the time I received comments on photos that were from people I didn't actually know in real life. However, the next morning I woke up to see the account had liked 36 of my photos dating from as back as 32 weeks ago. It was strange, sure, but as I said, I was just happy to be getting likes. Now, this is where things start to get weird. On April 1st, I got a phone call from a private number, and of course, I was curious, so I answered. Hello?
Hey.
It was a guy's voice, very deep and husky. I kept talking, trying to recognize the voice. May I ask who's calling?
Is this Hannah Geller?
The voice questioned. My eyebrows shot up at the sound of not only my first, but my last name as well. Whoever it was definitely knew me. This is she. Who's this?
Where are you right now?
What?
Are you home? I want to make you scream.
Who is this? I was freaked out.
Hannah Geller, right? You got a nice ass.
I hung up. They called again, but by this point I figured, haha, April Fools, lol, I get it, haha, right? So I ignored the next 3 calls and disregarded as some weird April 1st prank. But the next morning, I am awakened by the same private caller. This continues for 9 more days, receiving 2 calls at the same times each, and then suddenly it stops. It was silly anyways, definitely just a joke. I forgot all about it. A week later, I get a notification on my Instagram account. John001 tagged you in a photo. I clicked on the thumbnail to get a better view. It was a picture of me driving in my mom's van. I was sitting at a stoplight. I clicked back to the user account. 1 post, 0 followers, following 1, no profile picture. I started to freak out and showed it to my sister. We both started freaking out, and I reported the photo as inappropriate. The private call started up again. I answered 1 and never touched the phone again. All the voice said was,
Did you like my picture?
But John001 still continued to tag more and more photos of me. One of me leaving work, one of me at the mall, and the last one, just a photo of my street. I showed the post to my mom, and she told me that if it were to happen again, then she would call the police, but she swore it was just a friend trying to freak me out. She was probably right, I remember thinking as I went upstairs and turned on the radio. I was busy blaring System of a Down when my mom called up to me that she was taking my sister to dance and was bringing my brother along for the ride. I, of course, didn't hear her. I made my way into the bathroom, carrying my loud music at my side. I hopped in the shower, screaming along to the radio. I didn't hear the front door when it opened. I didn't hear him come up the stairs. I didn't even hear him when he went into my room and used my red lipstick that I had used in so many Instagram pictures to write on my mirror. But I did hear the click of the camera as I turned my naked body to read the note that covered my reflection. It read in those smeared crimson letters,
"Smile, Hannah."
I admit, I have a bit of a problem with watching too much reality TV. You know, Big Brother, The Bachelor, Teen Mom, Are You the One? All those mind-melting drama-infused over-the-top reality shows. Over time, that's translated into following a lot of said reality stars on Instagram. If it had only stopped there, I'd be fine. But then I started following Instagram stars, the ones that post pretty pictures of themselves all day long and somehow make money doing it. All of these so-called stars have one big thing in common. They post ads on their Instagram pages. Waist trainers, teeth whiteners, clothing, shampoos, everything you can think of. I held out for so long in falling for any of them, but I'll admit, I'm weak. What got me was one of my favorite reality stars posted a selfie of herself with something called Belly Be Gone tea. I'm not stupid. These diet teas are not in any way a new thing. But damn, if she didn't look like she'd lost 30 pounds. I studied the picture for the telltale signs of Photoshop, curved walls, wavy doors, blurry edges, and found none. By all accounts, she'd actually lost the weight. I really wasn't going to do it, but with a 25% off discount code, a wedding to go to in a month, and a little extra cash in my PayPal account, I said fuck it and ordered a bag of the damn tea. The shipping was almost immediate. A day and a half later, a plain brown box arrived on my doorstep. Inside was a bag of dried out leaves with a slightly earthy smell to it. The bag had a cute design with abstract swirls and pretty pink font for the label. The ingredients listed a lot of things I expected. Oolong tea leaves, ginger eleuthero root, and something called Tania saginita, which I'd never heard of before but assumed it was just another root or leaf or whatever. The instructions were simple. The tea was to be brewed at 85 degrees Celsius and without a bag. According to the instructions, it was to give the full effect of the tea. It was a little dicey trying not to accidentally swallow a bunch of leaves, but I doubted a few tea leaves could hurt me. The taste, admittedly, was pretty bitter, borderline gross. Still, I chugged it down, 2 cups a day of the brackish tea every day for a week, and hope I'd find my tummy just a little flatter by the end of my cleanse. I honestly didn't expect to see a major change when I stepped on the scale after the first week, but holy crap, I'd actually lost 7 pounds. 7 pounds in a week! I couldn't believe it. Not only that, but people started complimenting me on how fit I looked. My formerly slightly too snug clothes fit better and my tummy was definitely a lot flatter. So, I decided to up my amount of tea a day. If 2 cups a day meant a loss of 1 pound a day, then 3 cups had to surely mean 1.5 pounds. At that rate, I was definitely going to be able to look my best at the wedding I had RSVP'd to a few weeks earlier. My results were better than expected at the end of week 2. I was down a total of 20 pounds, which meant I was losing 2 pounds every day. It was insane. My clothes were actually getting loose, like hanging off me. I didn't want to lose too much weight, of course, so on week 3, I cut back to a cup a day. I only had about 15 more pounds I wanted to lose at that point, and I really didn't want to overdo it. But at the end of week 3, I wasn't elated when I saw the number on the scale. At 1 cup a day, I was down another 18 pounds. I was losing more weight, not less, and I was starting to feel a little too thin. I cut out the tea altogether. I started eating more, not just to gain the weight back, but because I was hungry all the time. There was a week until the wedding, and the dress I bought a couple weeks earlier was basically hanging off me by the time I went to zip it up. My ribs protruded through the thin fabric, and it took a hell of a lot of makeup to hide just how sunken in my cheeks had become. My date came and picked me up before the ceremony, and I could tell by the look in his eyes that he was concerned. No more than concerned. He looked downright disgusted by how thin I'd become. The feeling wasn't his alone. I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror. It had gotten that bad. I couldn't wait for the reception. I munched on the snacks I'd hidden in my purse through the whole ceremony. During the dinner, I stuffed my face and begged for seconds. I was absolutely famished, and the kitchen ended up bringing me 2 extra helpings of dinner. All eyes were on me after that one. Between being horrifically skinny and begging for food, everyone was staring at me, judging. I went into full panic mode after that. I had to act normal. I had to be normal. I got up on the dance floor as soon as the music kicked in and tried to be my normal self. But the room started to spin the moment I started to dance. My head went fuzzy and my vision tunneled. The last thing I remembered was falling to the floor. The doctor told me it was 3 days later when I woke up in the hospital. There were IVs hooked up to my arms and a feeding tube inserted through my abdomen to give me the food I so dearly needed. I didn't even have to tell the doctor about the tea. Turns out, I was his 3rd case in 2 months. He flat out asked if I'd used Belly Begone tea and shook his head when I admitted that yes, I'd been drinking it. "Did you not check the ingredients first?" he asked me. I did, I insisted. Everything looked normal. Well, save one thing I didn't know, but I assumed it was just a plant. Tana sangria? Tina sandana? Taenia saginita. The doctor corrected me. It's the Latin name for a beef tapeworm. That tea is filled with them, and so are you. We flushed 15 of them out of your intestines so far. Yeah, needless to say, there is no way in hell I'd ever order something off some reality star's Instagram again. I contacted the company that makes the tea, but with the words Taenia saginita right on the package, there isn't too much anyone can do to stop them. All I can do is keep eating the high-calorie meal program the doctor has me on. That, and double-check that there are no more signs of tapeworms every day for, most likely, the rest of my life.